emotionally in turmoil about leaving because like the painting that I had done in there, like my personal office space was painted nice. I had the purple walls.
Yeah.
You know, you got the big Jacols right there in the front. I got the other room.
Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови моих братьев, благослови моих братьев, благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови моих братьев, благослови моих братьев. Я скрутил себе подольше, я выдыхаю с дымом свою боль, малышка, сделай вид попроще, и не играй со мной свою роль. Со мной молодые братья, мы возьмем котлеты наличных себе на завтрак. Сегодня-завтра, неважно как я. You Hey, yeah. You. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки.
Hey you guys, it's Melanie and Hancock. We are here with Inthemixwithmel. And guess what? We got my homie. She be helping me behind the scenes, y'all, with all my podcasting. You know I've interviewed like 39 of her associates when it comes to music. But I really have. She really does help me when it comes to podcasting areas. And she's an entrepreneur. I want to say a serial entrepreneur because she has like a lot of stuff underneath her belt. But Ms. Tiffany Tillman, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you today?
I'm good. It's a hot day in Georgia.
Yes.
As you can see, I put my hair in a ponytail today.
Yeah,
it's like,
you're nice though.
I appreciate it. So, how have you been? You've been so busy. Like, you literally are around making. Everybody knows who you are. You're like, oh, that's Tiffany. That's Tiffany.
Yeah,
that's
a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I've been good. You know, just pretty much working on some of my individual projects, some of the things that you guys probably have seen on social media.
Yep.
Just putting a lot of focus into my artists as well as my business with Jacols. But you know, now just getting back to me.
Yeah.
Getting back into the personal swing of things and just doing some more focus.
I love it. So we mostly, whenever we meet up, we talk about PCM, but I want to get into you.
Yep.
Who is Miss Tiffany Tillman? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Ooh, okay. All right, so let's see where I'm gonna start at.
There's a lot.
It's a lot to unpack. Tiffany is and I know we talked about this before, but a graduate of Fort Valley State University.
Yes.
So outside of my educational background, I just consider myself to be I hate to say independent because I feel like we overuse that word.
I feel like no. I feel like people misuse it. I think they misuse it.
That's a good way. That's a good way.
I think they misuse it. Like
misuse it,
yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I currently work independently, right? As far as my entrepreneur business with Jacols Life Coaching and Resource Center, and it's been 2 years.
Woo!
It's been 2 years. I shared something on Facebook today.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and it went by fast because I opened up in 2020.
Really?
So that's one part of me. You know, I'm definitely into entrepreneurship. I'm always into the community.
Very much so, yeah. I noticed that you support the community a lot. You're always sharing other people's stuff. You're always going to different events.
Right.
Yes, so you really is an integral part of the community when it comes to Macon.
Absolutely. So I definitely enjoy anything that is dealing with the youth in the city of Macon because, you know, we have a lot of different situations where we need to make sure we stay involved with our youth some type of way. So I usually try to, like Mel say, I try to attend other people's event. Even if I can't go, I share it.
Right.
So that's another big part of me. And then, you know, other than that, I feel like I'm just everyday woman.
She's not. I love how humble entrepreneurs, every time I have an interview, they're like, oh, I just do this. I just own like 50 businesses. You know, I just do my own thing. I'm like, no, that's a huge accomplishment. So we recently, you decided to take a different direction when it came to Jacole's Life Center. Then you decided to step back from that and possibly go another direction. So what's going on with that?
Right. So like most people that have a brick and mortar business, 9 times out of 10, they are probably renting or leasing from somebody. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that was a great way for me to get started. Great way for me to get my feet wet. However, after 2 years, I'm seeing where I can keep more of my money.
Yeah.
That's just the logistics of it. I no longer want to
have to put a cut of some.
Right. I don't want to share no money. I don't want to share any money with anybody else. That's, I am into ownership.
I love that, yeah.
I'm into ownership. So right now what I'm looking to do is locate a spot where I can team up with other entrepreneurs. And we're creating a small investment group where we're all going to get together on getting one location.
I love that. Yes.
So then that way, once we buy it, we can do whatever we want. I mean, I did what I want to do with Jacole's anyway, but we can do what we want to do as far as if you and I did it or whatever, and you decide like, hey, I'm moving to Atlanta, then you can just sell your part of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that way we won't be, all the money we get is what you earn.
Right.
And not having to pay out to somebody else. So
I honestly think it's a beautiful idea. I've always talked about the behind the scenes with people. Like, it's great to have a business, but think about also, one big thing is when you have brick and mortar is, where is your business? Did you build this thing? Because you always have to pay rent and the lease and all that stuff, and that can be a huge chunk of money.
Not including what you're paying in utilities.
Oh yeah, that too.
Wi-Fi,
insurance for the place,
insurance and stuff like that, and like I had an issue with my HVAC, my air system had a problem there, and so the way the contract was set up was that was something that was my responsibility. So I just feel like if I'm gonna be paying that type of money, I want it to be something that my name is on, that I own, and that I can pass down or give it away or whatever I choose to do with it.
Yeah.
So for like the next 6 months, I will be most likely relocating to Spark Making. I'll be teaming up with Carl Myers. He was
I know that dude, yeah, you know everybody knows each other,
yeah, I know, right? It's like really it's a circle, but it's getting bigger and bigger with everybody that know each other.
Yep.
So he offered me the opportunity to maybe utilize that space out there, that office space, and then I can work out of there until I find what I want. And so I think I'm gonna probably just transfer everything out there for the next few months.
I think that's smart. Yeah.
The team and I, who I'm working with, we're gonna just start looking around. But we're definitely gonna keep our spot in Macon. Like, I don't care what else we got going on. We're gonna try to always keep a spot here in Macon.
I love that, y'all. She is. You have like a whole plan. I like it. You're like scheming and plan, scheming. But like Macon, I said this to so many people. I'm like, y'all, there's so many Blythes out in Macon. But if somebody had like the capital to turn like a bit like a block of Blythes into something,
right?
Like, man, it's just right there.
Yeah, and I mean, what's his name? What's his name? The guy who does who got Greenwood Bottom, like.
Yeah, I know.
Is his name Nick?
No, I forgot. Oh my God, y'all, bro. We know
Bryant.
We know your face.
Yeah, I see him. I see like his.
You talking about haircuts by Brandon? No. Brandon.
Yeah.
Brandon.
So he did. Basically, that's what he's doing now with Greenwood Bottom. Like he's opened up that little small plaza, and I don't want to say small, but I think it's like 3 or 4 suites right there.
It is, yeah. I just did a little bit of an interview for a documentary I did for my homie Ashley Monique's Makeover. Yeah, he's
right.
Yeah.
So I heard that he may even expand and get some more of those properties or some more like buildings in that area. So I think what he's doing is awesome. It's a small thing, but you gotta start, even if it's small. So tell people you gotta start. Yeah, and just really though, getting that plaza. That's a big deal. Like, that's major in a lot of different ways. So I think that's awesome. I'm actually inspired to branch off and invest with people. And though, like you said, those blights, just getting those old buildings and owning them and fixing them up. Cause I had to fix up Jacole's when I got that building. It was a mess.
Really?
Yeah. It was a mess. It took a lot of cosmetic work. So why not put that into your own building?
Right, I love it because honestly, you did put cosmetic works, but the moment you leave, that's going to be good for somebody else.
Yeah, it is. That's why I was so emotionally in turmoil about leaving, because like the painting that I had done in there, like my personal office space was painted nice. I had the purple walls. Yeah. You know, you got the big Jacols right there in the front. I got the other room where we did the interviews that was red.
Yeah.
So I went through a moment, you know, now this kind of gets to personal, Tiffany, because I feel like that's the part we don't see on social media.
Right.
know?
We have to present, basically, when you're an entrepreneur in this business, especially in this circle of making, you can't have everything on your sleeve into that.
Right. And you don't, it's like you want to show weakness, but you don't. Like, I try to avoid that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Miss Tiffany Tillman. So, she's a business owner. She's a college graduate. Yes. She has a lot of support behind her. She supports a lot of people. But let's talk about you. So, what are you wanting for your life? Not just in business-wise, but what are you wanting for your life? That's a heavy question, yeah.
That is a real heavy question, but that's a good question though.
Cause she's a single. Well, I don't know. Is she single? I don't know. Is she single, ready to mingle, or is she slightly taken? I don't know these days. You know.
You know that look. Look. Okay. So to the world, in terms of what we could societal views, then yes, I'm single.
Okay.
Because you know, as a married woman.
Oh yeah.
Then if you're not with ring, you're single.
Pretty much, because pretty much.
Right. That's what we were. That's the unwritten secret, right?
That is because it's because in this world is still women are getting out and really owning things and doing their own thing, but still when it comes down to it, if a man doesn't put a ring on your finger, they still can do stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
Exactly. So to societal views, then yes, I'm single, but
she seen people. She seen
yeah, right.
people.
I do see people. I do date. You know what? And I'm glad you brought it up, because I think people. I don't really know, like, what's the consensus? I don't know. What do people think? Do people think I don't date, or?
I think that people think that your standards are just high because you have high standards yourself, and I have that for myself as well. Really? Like if I was single, people were like, I just don't think I could even like approach her. Like I literally.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that people think I'm unapproachable. Guys, I've heard that. They might be slightly intimidated.
That's feedback that I've gotten from just regular people, that they think I'm intimidating. I'm like, what?
Yeah. But I do date. I definitely date. I enjoy dating. Like I hear the horror stories about dating on social media. And I could write a book that I do sometimes write. I'm just gonna change the name, so I'm not gonna put anybody out there. But I have had some terrible dates.
Oh Lord.
But I still enjoy dating.
Yeah, I think you gotta enjoy the experience. I feel like if you're single and you're looking to find the one in that one date, you're gonna get burnt out. Like you gotta like the dating experience. But of course, I've had some horrible dating experiences beforehand. I was married as well.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, when you get my age, that dating pool. So I always feel like the guys have the upper hand, right?
They too.
They have the upper hand when it comes to dating, because you have a lot of Tiffany's, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of good quality women. I know quite a few of them that's still dating, right? That has their own thing going on. They are approachable. They're nice ladies. But when it comes down to us, and I feel like our pool, it can be very tricky to navigate that.
I agree.
Because I personally know you deal with a lot of people. You don't have to, but you can get approached by a lot of people that's involved already, some type of way.
You have some kind of attachment from past relationships and all that.
All that type of thing. So it's like the dating pool is not quite the same for us as it is for men.
Yep, it isn't, and they get more leeway. Honestly, I feel like.
Yeah, and you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful how you choose to, date people, or even if it's just for a friendship type of thing, you still have to be very, very mindful. And I think that's where it may come off as if I'm intimidating, or I just try to be very mindful with who I deal with, and then what we're going to do if we're going to date.
You're right. I agree with that, because it can, especially when you're at your position. who you associate with, even if you're thinking, okay, this is a good guy, but then whoever you associate with yourself with, I've learned this with friends and just people, it can come off like, okay, are you serious about what you're doing? If you want to think that type of thing, but who you associate yourself with, especially dating, could be a reflection of you, obviously.
Yeah, and then if we're dating, is it intentional? When
I know what you're saying. Go ahead.
Like when I say intentional, are we, and I'm, for the most part, I'm straight, no chaser, right? I prefer that you tell me up front.
Just
Which that is, right, that's a challenge for most men. But what are we, if it's not, are we dating intentionally to do what? You know, what are we doing when we're dating? Are we dating to really work to get to know each other? Or do you have an underlying agenda that I don't know anything about? So I try to see past that real early, so that way I don't get overly involved with anybody, you know. But Tiffany Tillman definitely enjoys dating. Do I go on a lot of dates? No, I wouldn't say that. But when I'm asked to go, I definitely go and have a good time. Do I turn down dates? Yes. But if I see where this is a possibility, a good friendship can come from it, then I'm open to it.
I like that. I feel like, honestly, the older as a woman get, the more we don't care to even entertain BS.
Right.
So, and a lot of dudes, unfortunately, though, even some older men, I've met men who are like twice my age, are still on that young man shit. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm like, whoa, okay, go ahead with that.
I'm glad you brought it up. So how do you feel about dating younger men? Like, how do you feel about women dating younger men?
I think that's fine. I mean, honestly, it just depends on the man, because again, I've met older men who are on that young men BS, and I met younger men who are like ready. They're ready. They have the intention. Like they're like, I want a wife. I want a wife. I'm looking for a wife. They will say it too. I want a wife.
Yeah, right. That's what I was about to say. So that would be, now that's a very intimate. I'm about to share something with you.
You know you're on camera, right?
Right. Look, I'm thinking about it as I'm saying. I like my last few, like, I don't say last few dates, but the young guys, they still.
They do.
They still. And I don't know what it is about. Something has happened in the water where these guys, much younger than me, want somebody older. And I know people think like, oh, they want to be taken care of.
No.
It don't be that.
No, it
really don't be that.
It's the fact that, unfortunately, in my generation, ladies, that some of us are immature.
How old are you?
I'm 30. Y'all, I'm turning 31 in a month. Yeah.
Okay.
Turning 31 in a month. Yes. Well, by the time this airs, probably about to be 31, but yeah. Yes. But no, it's like the younger girls. You know, certain men, not every young man wants to be serious, but when they are, they're looking around our society, and these girls are the same. They're all like these Ari Fletchers and these Instagram girls who just are famous off of having fakeness. And then I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think people want realness.
That's what
most older women already have. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what I've been told. That his reason for not dating somebody his age is because he didn't necessarily like the quality of what he was seeing.
And it sucks, because I'm like, ladies, come on, these men are right here.
And it could just be him. You know, I'm definitely not ever shifting blame on a woman, because it's a lot of stuff we have to deal with. But I'm saying, for me, since we're having this kind of intimate conversation, and I enjoy dating younger guys. I don't know what it is.
Go ahead with it, girl. Go ahead with it.
Do I think, I don't know. My experience has been good with, I've had better experience with the younger guy who I date. I've had a better experience with him than I've had, like, in the past with people that was older.
Really? I believe that, though. I believe that.
I really have. And it had me kind of questioning, like, wait a minute, what is he really doing? But that's what his desire is, and we've had the same conversation, like, are you playing around?
Right.
And it's like, no, I prefer to be with somebody older.
Yeah, because you're serious. Some people crave, I feel like, that real connection. And unfortunately, like I said, y'all, in my generation or a little bit younger now, oh my God, I'm getting to that age where I could say the younger generation now. It's not my generation anymore, but the younger generation, like the people in their 20s now, everybody's super materialistic. They're real material. They will go on Instagram. They live for social media. Like they live for social media.
We are definitely in the social media era like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think anywhere between 29 and younger, maybe even 32 and younger.
Mm-hmm.
Very social media driven.
Yep, doing things for the gram, as they say.
Mm-hmm. And I think that when
a lot of originality. So yeah.
And if you met a guy that had to grow up fast for whatever reason, he's just past that point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with dating.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Come on, man. I know y'all. Come on.
It's tricky. Y'all look. Listen, we're definitely in support of, you know, good dates and good quality people. I've never ever desired to like rush into marriage or motherhood. Not that you know, not that it's not thought about, or I can't say that it's not desired, because what woman doesn't think about it at some point, but I never want to rush into it for a lot of different reasons.
Well, let's get into that. We're going to pause real quick. We're going to come right back, you guys.
All right.
All right, y'all, we are back. Okay, last thing we were talking about is you don't want to rush into things, and I understand that. It's so weird, even with my generation and me being almost 31, probably 31 by the time this comes out, a lot of people still ask me, why don't you have kids? And I'm married, so it's like it's kind of like an expected.
It's an expected thing.
Yeah.
And when you're my age and you're not one of the other, that can be very hard for people to understand.
Mm-hmm. Very much so, yes.
And I want to be transparent, because I think, like, I read the memes on Facebook about women that, you know, isn't married at a certain age or don't have kids. And, you know, for me, I read it and keep going, but for somebody else, that could be very hurtful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It could create insecurities, you know, or if they have a baby or have a child, they're not married, it's like, well, what did you, it's always something. It's like, we can't just be ourselves without having to explain.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like having to explain something, like, even though you're married, you may not want kids right now.
Exactly.
So it's like, she does that. She shouldn't have to explain that. For me, I'm just gonna keep it a book with you. So when I was younger and in school and college, my whole thing was I never wanted to have kids out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I seen, and not that it's a bad thing, but I really feel like probably myself and most of my cousins, not all of them, but we all were kind of born out of wedlock. So
and it's difficult when you see the realities of it. It's difficult.
Yeah, it really is. And so I always desired to be married before I had kids. So boom, next thing I know, I'm in school, I'm going through school, I'm finishing school, I'm going back to school, now I'm starting businesses, I'm dating people, it's not working out. So I just was like, okay, I can probably go out here and just have a baby. But then what?
Right, yes.
What? You know,
yeah.
I never wanted to co-parent with anybody. No, I don't want to share my baby on the holidays.
That's,
and I'm not knocking that, but it was just for me that I didn't want to do that. So I just felt like, okay, well then if I can't be with the man who I'm gonna have a baby by, then I just hold off on the baby.
Yeah.
So now I'm 40. So do I now feel differently? No, I don't regret the decision I made then. Would I change that decision? Like, just say, now do I feel like, okay, so I met somebody who wanted to co-parent? It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible. But back then, like in my 20s and 30s, I didn't want to do that.
Right.
I didn't want to do that. And I still don't want to do it now. But if it came down to it, if I seen where, you know, this absolutely isn't going to work out between this guy and I,
yeah, then
we only have that choice to co-parent properly, then I'm okay with it.
I understand that.
That's just the logistics of it. Like, you know, I've never been pregnant before, so if it happened, would it be shocking to me? It would definitely be shocking.
Yeah, me too. That's what I know.
At 40,
no.
At 40, it would be shocking, but it happens.
It does.
It definitely happens. So I support any woman at any point in her life that decides to go into motherhood. I support people finding love at late ages. Mm-hmm. I support that because it's different. And I would rather do this later in life and be happy than to marry somebody young or have a baby with somebody and then we're miserable.
Yes.
And in an unhealthy relationship.
Yes.
Because I can't deal with that. I'm not built to deal with that, and I don't tolerate a lot of stuff. So, and that's something else. I cut people off real quick too.
I agree. Nope.
I cut people off real quick.
I 1000% agree. We can go ahead and get into people having standards, and people don't stick to them. Just move on to the next thing. People tend to think that that's harsh.
Right.
I don't think it's harsh at all. It's just standards, but it does mean that you have to sift through a lot more people to get through that, unfortunately.
Right.
But I understand that. I'm not having a kid until I'm ready to. I don't care what people say. People say it to me all the time. I'm married. They're like, well, that's the natural next step. No, it's not the natural next step.
Right. Especially if y'all not ready, like y'all both doing y'all thing with business and stuff. It do change your life,
Yeah, people take it so lightly. I feel like you do know you're gonna have to stop your life.
You're gonna have to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
You're gonna make some adjustments. If you're not ready, then we hear that after 35 you're too old to do it. Well, that changed, but we start seeing people now up until 45.
And I'm like, yes, like Nicki Minaj and all of them. I'm like, yes.
Right. So I just tell anybody, if I can just be transparent. Just try to do what makes you happy. And I don't want to sound cliche with that, but don't rush into that. Don't rush into anything because somebody put something on Facebook or your family got you feeling away.
Because all of them are doing something. Look,
right, yeah. And I have friends with kids. I have friends without kids. And I feel like everybody's where they're at because that's where they're supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm. That's their
in that moment.
That's their life, right?
Right. And I feel like if that was something that I was supposed to do, back then I feel like it would have happened. Yeah,
I 1000% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't live by everybody else's expectations because I always say it to myself, say it to other people. At the end of the day, you're going to your home alone, and you're going to have to take care of that person. You have to be with that person. If you're getting married because you think, okay, it's my age to get married, you're going to go home with that person and deal with that person. Not everybody else who went to that wedding.
Right, exactly. Because I know how tricky things can get in relationships, and I know how bad things can get real quick, and I'm just not that person to lay and waddle in something that's not happy or healthy. People get sick in their bodies
for being
in unhealthy marriages and relationships and stuff like that. So
they sure do. Well, let's talk about since you're talking about men. So what's your ideal man?
Look at you.
What's your ideal man? What's the characteristics?
You know what? I don't have a type, so I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that.
Ray Shrimmer, she ain't got a type.
So you want some wine?
I got some.
Okay, good.
Yes, as we can see, we have these just like a mimosa type.
Yeah, I made us some drinks. I put pineapples in it. It was really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's like Hennessy. Agave Hennessy.
Okay, it's good. I can feel it.
Yeah, I think that was him. But so I'm not saying I don't have a type, I don't have a complexion type.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like, unfortunately, I feel like our black men have a unhealthy obsession with complexion.
Yes, I will say that's a light-skinned woman. I will say that. Yes,
our black men really have an unhealthy obsession. I think we hear it in music. It's always about light skin, about yellow bone. I don't have that preference. Like, I don't care about a dude if he light skin, dark skin, brown skin. I don't just go for a dark skin dude or just go for a light skin dude. I don't really care about that. Hairstyle, I'm okay with dreads. I'm okay with the low cut. I'm okay with twists. I don't have a hair preference.
Okay.
Height. At least my height or taller.
Okay.
Because I'm 5'9".
Right.
I'm 5'9", so at least my height or taller, I think.
Okay.
And these are just like, what are these? These are just like personal
preferences.
Yeah, but more so on the like physical attributes.
Yeah.
If you're talking about what I desire for a man, like I love masculinity.
I love that too. I love that. That's my thing. I love it.
I love masculinity.
She wants her strong man.
Yes, I love it. I don't care about physical, like I care about that, but when I'm talking about masculinity, I mean like real masculine in his mental being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like his decision making, the way that he talks with me or how he, make decisions on things that we're gonna do. I love that masculinity. Like, because I can be at times, I don't want to say alpha, but maybe.
That's how,
maybe.
That's how I am. When you're a strong woman doing your thing, you can't really have a spouse or a significant other who's so passive. They gotta match.
You can't.
You're gonna get irritated easily. Like, do you you would be like getting their minds like, well, if I were you, I'd be doing this like that, and
right.
just like
get
irritated real quick.
Mm-hmm. So if we can, come together on making decisions, that's fine. But if he wants to take the lead on making decisions, and they are good decisions, I love that. I love that masculinity.
Yes, yeah.
I love that provider type of, and not providing financially, but just emotional, like, being able to listen to what I have going on, or just being there, being present.
Right.
That's ideal for me. Do you want
him to be able to understand the fact that you have business? Sometimes you got to really put your time into that.
That's important too. Like if we're talking about really like I definitely need for him to, if he's not in like the industry of what I'm doing. Yeah. But if he's understanding to what I'm doing, then that's great. Right. And he has to be comfortable with the fact that I work in you and I both male dominated. Yep. Like the artists with podcasts and stuff, it's mostly guys. So if he's secure, that masculinity where he's
you have to be secure with yourself as a man. When you have women like us, you have to be. Exactly. Because it's just not gonna work. Like what you want us to do, not
right.
do this.
That's where we at. It's mostly guys. So if he's not intimidated by that, or if he actually comes and try to support the events and stuff like that, like that's a big turn on for me. I like that. And then I don't really care about occupation.
Okay.
I don't really care about that.
I like that. A lot of men tend to think because we strive for so much that they have to be multimillionaires. I'm like, no.
I hope people don't think that.
I don't know. No, I've heard that for myself too.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that for myself. Even be like, oh, I thought you would be with a multimillionaire. Which is saying my husband Dante, he's really he's doing great, but he's not multimillionaire yet. Putting that to fruition. Right. But no, like you want somebody just with the drive. Yeah. That's me. I want somebody with that hustle and that drive.
Right. That's always a turn on. Like I've heard things about like people may think I'm a little arrogant or something like that, but
I've heard that too. I don't think it's that. I think people, and I honestly, y'all correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I feel like it's people who are insecure with themselves who tend to think that you're arrogant when you just have an assuredness about yourself because you know who you are.
A confidence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but no, you definitely don't have to be a multi-millionaire. However, you do need to have some type of hustle going on where you're able to care for yourself, and provide for yourself. Because I don't believe in, financially caring for somebody unless we are, if we're married and then something happens and I need to pull the weight. That's one thing. Right. But I expect you as a man to take care of yourself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I say I don't care about if it's a blue collar or white collar job, but I think that's important. And it's important for him because you're not going to be happy.
No,
you're not going to be happy if you can't provide for yourself.
Men, I feel like they're naturally wanting to be providers. They want to have that contribution. If they don't, they're going to be miserable with themselves. It's going to spill out over to the relationship.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It's not. It's not because they're going to be miserable. I've seen it before, y'all. Yep. I've seen it before where a woman's doing good and they subconsciously try to drag them down to bring them to their point. Right. And it's just not helping the household at all. Like, what are you doing?
And for any woman that tries to, because I think as women, we all have tried it. But for any woman that tries to completely provide for him and take care of him, it may start off good, but like she just said, that's going to eventually spill over. You're going to start seeing either he's going to get worse with what you're trying to do, or he's just going to become so insecure that it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable for both of you guys. So
I agree.
Feel free to try it, but it's not going to work.
I've seen not for me, I haven't had that, but I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. Yep. Well, let's talk about you. So what are you looking forward to have in your future? Like, because you already went into the fact that you're trying to basically get an investment group together, get a space. So is there anything else coming up that you're looking to do?
So I'm honestly looking forward to, on a personal level, I'm looking forward to putting more into my relationships. Okay. Yeah, like with my friends, just being more intentional with my relationship with my friends, with who I'm dating, family life, and then just really getting into knowing more about me. Turning 40, that kind of changed the way you look at like spirituality, look at a lot of different things. So like I have different types of books that I use. Like I have a self-meditation book that my friend gave me. Ariel gave me this for my birthday. And of course I have like different types of journals, and I have multiple journals because it depends on what I'm writing about.
I like journals. I feel like you gotta write stuff out to really bring it to fruition. Like if you're trying to really attract something or just to be cathartic, you gotta write it out.
Right.
To really, you know, get it out, whatever it may be, or else you'll hold it in. I like that.
Right, yeah. And then I've been reading this book too by Ziza McMillan, the 21 Day Success Program. So
I have that, but you gave me one of those. It's sitting in my nightstand right now.
You got started.
I got
See, it's hard. It's the thing. It's hard to read when you're doing so. Like
right,
most of us, it's really hard. So Sundays have been my like meditation day, Bible day to read.
Okay.
Yeah, prayer day. Like I just make Sundays my day to just really relax and get into my mental stability. Because you know I'm a life coach too.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that as well. So what are some things, like what if somebody wants to come to you maybe for like guidance or, you know, mentorship? How can they reach you? Because she does that, y'all. She does mentorship. She's a life coach.
Right, exactly. So I provide life coaching for youth and young adults. So between the ages of 18 to 45, I can do life coaching. So they can definitely message me on my Jacole's Life Coaching and Resource Center page. Because even though I'm leaving that location, I still have an office space that I'll be able to work out of.
Okay.
So they can reach me on my Facebook page, Jacole's Life Coaching and Resource Center. And then they can email me at jacoleslifecoaching@gmail.com.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it's super important to get in touch with yourself spiritually, because you'll kind of just be running around. You can accomplish a lot, but if you really don't have yourself grounded, it still won't really fulfill you, I feel like.
Right. Yeah. So I want to encourage everybody, like on Sundays, get your books out, get your glass of wine, get your candles, get one of your girlfriends, and y'all just sit there and kind of like talk about some things. Come to the table, y'all write out things together, y'all pray on them, or go individually, but pick that one day. Like Saturdays, that's unrealistic. Because Saturdays you're doing stuff. So Sunday is probably like your best day to be with your family, cook. I love cooking. That's therapeutic for me, listening to music, but definitely get back to you.
I love it. Okay, so before we close out, is there anything you want to tell the audience that basically, you know, will help them to guide them into a positive direction? Any, you know, sayings that you use for yourself? Because I know you read a lot.
I do. One of my favorite, it's an African proverb that many hands make light work. And I think is my favorite because even though I'm an entrepreneur, but I have a lot of people that I team up with.
Yes.
Like Mel, Derek James, Carl, Andreas Cook was a mentor to me at one point in time to get started. Like so many boutique owners, Andrea at Caviar Cosmetics, Caviar Beauty, like Leah. I have a lot of people that I team up with, and if there's anything I need, my friend Shakita, it's so easy that I can reach out. So many hands make light work. Don't try to take on everything by yourself. Use your resources.
Use your resources, y'all. Network, use your resources. Very, very important. Okay, y'all, you guys support the homie. She's got a lot of stuff coming on. I mean, if you were making, you know her, like you had to have heard her name through probably one of her people from her other business, Platinum Crown Management, or just her Jacole's Life Center, or being a mentor, or being around, just supporting other people's movements as well. So you guys support her, look out for new stuff, and I would implore you to reach out to her if you're a man and you're looking for somebody, or if you're looking to go ahead and get into her business, you know, to collaborate.
Ooh, look, we're gonna have to Mel is trying to put me out there. She's trying to get me locked in quickly. And you know what, that's cool though, because a lot of my friends be like, look, you need to get her, she's a good person.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to understand when you meet people like, dang, why she ain't with nobody? Is she crazy? No, I can't be.
She's not crazy. Stop it. I love it. You guys support her, follow her on social media as well. Reach out to her for your needs. She has a lot of resources as well, not just the ones we talk about. She really does have a lot of connections as well. So reach out to her for those connections. She can really point you in the right directions to a lot of people. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Subscribe to this channel, and peace out.